So we're back with lesson 2. In this lesson, we're talking about real world positive and negative numbers and zero. So why would they not include zero when they mention positive and negative numbers? Does anyone know? You take a stab at it. All right.
They don't mention it because it's not an even or odd number.
Even or odd or what?
Positive or negative number.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Zero is neither positive nor negative. It's kind of neutral, right? It kind of sits by itself. It's not positive or negative. All right, so in this lesson, what I'm going to teach you about is how a situation indicates change. So what I mean by that is I'm going to teach you whether a situation represents a gain or whether it represents a loss. Okay, so we'll talk about different real world situations, and then by the end of that situation that we talk about, you're going to be able to tell me whether that represents a gain or a loss. Now, just to recap on lesson 1, you learned about integers. The word integers is a set of whole numbers and their opposites. Okay, so we're going to start with our discussion points. This is not located on your paper, so you get to just pay attention to me, okay? So make sure that you're listening and you're focused on what I'm saying to you, because it'll be really important to you as you complete your work. So here's our first part. So I have drawn a number line on the board. It's not located on your paper, so you can just track the video. So here's the number line that I recorded. So explain to me how you would show 150 on a number line. How would you show 150 on a number line, Arya?
You would start at 0 and try to get the closest number to 150.
Alright, so let's just assume 0 is here, right? So if I want to show 150 on a number line, would my number line be really big?
You try to make it as small as possible.
Alright, but in general, when I'm thinking about a number line, most of the time we count by ones, right? We're used to counting by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so but I have to make it to 150. So, is that reasonable to start counting by ones?
No.
No, because I would have a number line that's really what?
Big.
Really big. So, today I'm going to teach you how to choose an appropriate scale, okay? So sometimes we have to represent numbers that are really large, like the number 150. So before we go into that, what strategy will we use to number the number line in order to show 150? So here's how we choose an appropriate scale. If I know I want to go to the number 150, I can count by 5s to reach 150, but that number line would still be really big, right? Or I could count by 10s, which makes it a little bit smaller. I could count by 50s, but see, that makes it almost too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at 140, right? So I'm going to count by ones. Here's how this looks. If I want to just take 0 away, I know that it's there somewhere, okay? I'm going to start at 140, and I'm still going to count by ones. Here's what this looks like. So the next number will be
141. 142.
Yep.
143.
Yep.
144.
Keep going.
145.
Keep going.
146.
We're almost there.
147.
147.
148.
148.
149.
149, and then the big one.
150.
150. Can I keep going?
No.
I could keep
You
going.
could, but you don't want to.
I could, but I don't have to. Alright, so I always go a couple of numbers further than what I have to reach. Alright, so I started at 140, and now I have reached my what?
150.
150 that I need, okay? So this would be an appropriate scale. You have to make sure that you include equal intervals. So what that means is I can't start at 1 and then start counting by 5s and then start counting by 2s on the next one, and then 3s, and then back to 7. So it has to be equal distances apart or equal intervals apart. So in this number line, I'm counting by ones, okay? And I count by ones all the way down my number line. So if I started counting by 5s, in order for it to show an equal interval apart on my number line, I would have to keep counting by 5s, okay? So now that we've covered that part, we're going to move straight into our exercise. But before we do that, how would I show 150 on this number line? Assuming that 0 is back here somewhere, how would I show 150? Where would I start on the number line?
At 0.
Start at 0, and I'm going to count down using the curved arrow method that we learned in lesson 1.
4, 5,
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Alright, and this would represent what 150 looks like on our number line, okay? And then you would simply put a dot. So, remember to start at 0 when you want to locate a point, and then move along your number line, okay? And remember, when you move, these are called units. So, I will continue to move to the right until I reach that positive 150. So, now we're going to track your paper. We are going to start reading our first example. Example 1, it says, take it to the bank. This must means that we are trying to get some what?
Money.
Money. Remember in the past lessons, Miss Chipman told you that she likes money, but that she's
Everyone
on a
likes
budget,
money.
right? I'm on a budget. I'm balling on a budget. All right, so the purpose of this example is for you to understand gains and losses, and so that you understand events in the order that they come in. So let's read. Arya, can you read this for me?
Example 1, take it to the bank.
Stop right there for me. So first, as you're reading, I want you to jot down the words in the boxes, the words that you already know from the example that she's reading, and then I want you to jot down the words that you want to know about, and then after we're finished going over this, I want you to jot down in this third box the words that you learned. So this is similar to our KWL chart that you may have heard about in English. So go ahead and read.
Okay, it says, for Tim's 13th birthday, he received $150 in cash from his mom. His dad took him to the bank to open a savings account. Tim gave the cash to the banker to deposit into the account. The banker credited Tim's new account $150 and gave Tim a receipt. 1 week later, Tim deposited another $25 that he had earned as allowance. The next month, Tim's dad gave him a permission to withdraw $35 to buy a new video game. Tim's dad explained that the bank could charge $5 fee for each withdrawal from the savings account. That each withdrawal and charge results in debit to the account.
All right, so that each withdrawal from the savings account and that each withdrawal and charge results in a debit to the account. So, what are some words that you already knew as you were reading this scenario example?
Withdraw?
You know what a withdrawal is?
Yes.
Okay, so you already knew withdrawal, but most of you all out there, I'm sure you don't know what a withdrawal is. So I'm going to put that under words that I want to know. So I want to know what a withdrawal is. Okay, I'm just going to assume that everybody knows what a bank account is, right? You know what a bank account is?
Yes.
All right, so here, words I already know. I already know what a bank account is.
You know what a debit is?
Not everybody knows what a debit is. So I'm going to put that under words
To know.
Who doesn't know what a debit is? Okay.
Allowance?
What about a receipt? Have you ever heard of a receipt?
Yes.
All right, where do you see receipts?
Like when you, for example, if you were to go to Walgreens or Walmart, for every purchase that you buy, you will get a receipt for it. And everything that you purchase will be listed on there and have your total cost.
So it's safe to say that mostly everyone has seen a receipt before, okay? What about allowance?
Yes.
You know what allowance
It's
is?
just money that you get from your parents.
Money that
Or
you
the
get
tooth fairy.
from your parents or the tooth fairy.
Santa
or
Claus.
For some money that I receive for doing some things, right? All right, then what about a charge? Do you know what a charge is? What's a charge?
Charge is basically when the bank you will have to they would give It's basically where the bank will take money out of your account.
Okay, it's when someone wants you to pay something, right? You being what?
Charged.
Charged, okay? So that's what a charge is. So here's some words that I want that you would probably want to know about. You would probably want to know about a withdrawal, about a debit. What about credited?
Yes, you would want to know what credited means.
All right. Credited. What about a fee?
Yes, you would
Some
want to know
people
what
may
it
need
is.
to know what a fee is, as we don't want to get many of those when we grow older. And a deposit. Okay, so as we go through this, I'm going to tell you about these words. All right, so in the third column, you're going to write down any new words and definitions that you learned during this discussion. Okay, so let's talk about a withdrawal. Does a withdrawal sound like a positive thing or a negative thing?
Negative.
A negative thing. So basically, when you go to a bank and you take money out of the bank, that's called a what?
Withdrawal.
Withdrawal. It means I'm taking some money out. Okay. It means
It doesn't necessarily have to be with money, but
yeah, it means that I'm taking something away from a situation, or I'm going through something and has me down because I'm whatever. But in this case, when we're talking about banks, it means that I'm taking money out of the bank. Okay. What about a debit?
a debit is like a card. You could have it as if it was like you have money on a card that you can use. Like a Visa card is a debit card.
Okay, like a Visa card is a debit card, and what do you do with that?
You would spend money on it when you don't have cash.
Okay, so a debit card doesn't mean that you don't have cash. It means that you just have your money in a bank and you're using your bank card, okay? So it means that you just don't have cash on you, but it doesn't mean that you don't have cash. So you're referring to a credit card, okay? A credit card means that that's not actually your money, but you're using some money that's on a stored card, okay? But if you're using a debit card, that means that that's your money that you're spending out of a bank, okay? Okay, let's go to credited. You know what credited means? So when someone credits your account or something, that means that they add something to it. So like if I say I'm going to credit your paycheck, I credited your paycheck this amount, that means I added some extra stuff to what you already have, okay? All right, so credit is a positive thing. But a fee, if I'm giving you a fee, what does that mean?
It means that you have to pay something because you bought it or...
Yeah, that's enough. We have to pay something because we bought it. I'm being charged again. And the word deposit, anytime you hear about the word deposit, that means that you are putting money in. So it's like the opposite of a withdrawal is a deposit. So when you go to the bank and you see your parents putting their checks in the bank, that means that they are depositing their check in the bank. They're putting it in. All right, so if you just learned some new vocabulary words here, I want you to write them in the third column where it says words I learned, okay? So we're going to move right into our exercise 1, where we are going to read example 1 again. This time I'm going to read it, and as I read with your partner or by yourself, I want you to number the events in the story problem. Write the number above each sentence to show the order of the events. So at this point, Aria is not going to pause the camera, but I want you to pause your video so that you can write these numbers down. So pause your video, not Aria, okay? Pause it. Now we're going to act like we broke for 5 minutes here so that you can actually number these events as they happen. And your time is up. You should be back. Now that you're back, here's what you should have. So it says for Tim's 13th birthday, he received. Over the word received, you should have put a number 1. Because that's the first thing that happened as we read this example. So Tim received $150 in cash from his mom.
I would love that money.
All right. Make sure that you have it on there and that you're getting that. All right. So his dad took him to the bank to open. Over the word open, write the number 2. To open a savings account. It says Tim gave the cash to the banker to deposit. Over the word deposit, write the number 3. To deposit into the account. The banker credited over the number 4, write the word, over the word credited, write the number 4. Credited Tim's new account $150 and gave Tim a receipt. 1 week later, Tim deposited, over the word deposited, write the number 5, another $25 that he earned as allowance. The next month, Tim's dad gave him permission to withdraw $35 to buy a new video game. Tim's dad explained that the bank would charge, over the word charge, write the number 6, a $5 fee for each withdrawal from the savings account, and that each withdrawal and charge results in a debit to the account. So at this point, you should have numbers 1 through 7 labeled over the words in the example.
Received.
So,
Open.
yeah, after you have completed exercise 1, you should be able to precisely define our vocabulary. Over the word withdrawal, you should put the number 7. That's in the last sentence. Over the word withdrawal, put the number 7. Alright, so after you have completed exercise 1, you should be able to precisely define the vocabulary to describe each situation as an integer. So, Tim receives $150. Is that positive or negative? A positive or negative situation?
Positive.
It's a positive situation when you receive some money that's positive. Alright, if Tim is opening up a bank account, is that positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, if he's opening up, how much money does he have?
Here's $150.
Okay, you said he has $150. Alright, but when he first opens the account, he starts with what? He starts with how much money?
$150.
Not necessarily, because when I first opened up an account, there's nothing there, right? So we start with what? Just
$0.
We start with $0. So that's what? Neither positive or what?
Negative is neutral.
Alright, so then it says Tim gives the banker $150 and that's called a deposit. Is that positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive because he's doing what?
Because he's giving the money to the man, but yet he's not paying him.
Right, okay. Then it says the banker credited the account $150. Does that represent a positive situation or a negative situation?
It
Credited the account $150. If I credit your account,
it's positive.
positive, okay? Then Tim makes another deposit of $25. Is that positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, that represents a positive integer, okay? The
That's
bank
$160.
creates a debit of $5 for any withdrawals. Is that positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative because they're doing what to my account?
Taking my money away.
Taking your money away.
Your hard-earned money away.
All right, and then a debit means that money is paid out of an account. And then the bank charges a $5 service fee. Is that positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. They're taking money what?
Away.
Remember, when they charge you a fee, that means they're taking
Money.
your money. Then Tim withdrew $35 out of his account. Would that be positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative because he's doing what?
Taking his own money away.
Taking his own money away. So that would be represented by negative 35 because he took $35 out, right? So that will show a negative 35. All right, so we're going to stop here, and then you should locate part 2 of the video so that you can complete the next part.